Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe from concussions.
NeuroGuard may control my breathing while I'm writing. It stops me getting concussions while I write. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
You know, I'm still doing stunts. You know, and the concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, you know, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Hey, I mean, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back.
Lights are bright.
Let's try that again. Now everything's just going crazy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving week.
Haywire.
It's the third night. It's the third show of the night. And if you know anything about us, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the last two shows were just absolutely off the wall, but great shows, great picks. But this is the Class 2A region, region. What's this one? Regionals. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
The
regionals.
Region semifinals, technically.
Yeah. Regionals.
Yeah, regionals. There we go. Next week's the quarterfinal. I don't know why. I always got in my head that the quarterfinals are round 3, or maybe
I think now they call it the region semifinals, not the regionals.
Well, on UIL it said regional, so I just go off that. But wasn't there a time when the third round was the quarterfinals? I guess not. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway.
Well, I mean, you look at a bracket, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, right?
Uh-huh.
Quarterfinals is let's see. So semifinals
no,
is 4.
No, I want to hear this.
Semifinals is 4, right? Quarterfinals
5. Right? 5.
5. 8.
Oh, I thought you were saying what round. My bad. I thought you were saying round 4, round 5. My bad. Anyway, hey,
well,
we know what we're talking about here on football day.
You say round 5, but there's only 6 rounds. Even if you win round 6, you're state champion. Man,
it's one of those.
I love you, buddy. Maybe playoff tree should take your spot.
No playoff tree. No, 2A is like what? If you want to hear playoff tree, go to 3A and 4A. You'll hear playoff tree and Coach X, and you will hear
playoff tree's looking good tonight, though.
Yeah, he always looks good.
Run the damn ball.
Just run the damn ball.
Is that a Timpson ball?
Huh? Yeah. Remember we went to Timpson and
take that down. They're out.
We don't do that. This is just a celebration of what we have.
Okay. It's dumb celebration.
Okay, so do we take the Brownwood? I mean, there wouldn't be anything left.
I don't know. Put up winners.
Maybe that should be the goal next year for a playoff tree. We have something of every team in all 3 classes.
There you go.
You think that poor tree would be able to handle 140 pieces or whatever? All right, this is what we do on the 2A show. Other than have fun, we also talk matchups. And we're going to start in Class 2A Division 1, Region 1. Man, Sunray. We talked about it. We even said, hey, look, Stanford and Panhandle on the bottom, whatever. It was going to be a great, just a hell of a game with Sunray and Holly. And it was. Sunray jumped out early. Holly clawed back. Sunray's able to keep the win. And just what a huge win for them.
What was it, 49-40?
49-40.
Wow. And they're taking on 12-0 Post, right? over at Patriot Stadium in Lubbock, 7 o'clock on Friday. Both teams 7-0. Give me Sunray in this one, though.
Look,
just way too much for Post to handle, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I'm about to say, good point. Again, you brought it up after you went out and got to see them live, and we all talk about, Luan on offense and what this offense can do, but him on defense and that defense in of itself has been really, really good. I do want to say again, and I know I've harped on it, but what Coach Wright has done at Post, taking a 1-8 team, a 2-7 team, and turning them into a 12-0 team, and have had just absolute. I mean, when you look at their last 3 weeks, to win the district, they beat Abernathy 21-13. To win the first round, they had to hold on against Spearman 42-33, and then last week against Anson in a shootout 42-35. But
all teams at Sunray, I think, would dispose of.
Thank you. You're reading my mind. That was going to be my point.
For me, I know. Look, the winner of Cisco and Stanford next week is going to be huge for Sunray, and if Stanford wins, like I think we both think they will. Outside of that, I think it's Arlington or bust for Sunray, man.
I don't know if they're not there now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think so, but so we both think Sunray wins, right?
Yes,
They'll
I
take
think
on
they
the
win
winner
comfortably.
Of 8-4 Cisco versus 12-0 Stanford Friday at Shotwell in Abilene, 2:00. This is the thing. Look, Stanford is so freaking good offensively. Christian Duran, 1,800 yards passing, about 1,600 or 600 yards rushing. Caston Vega, about 1,300 yards rushing. Drew Falks, the receiver, closing in on 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah.
The defense has been really good. Look, Stanford, I think, takes care of Cisco. I know, Julius Prophet at quarterback
he's
has
a
been
beast.
really good for Cisco, but I just think Stanford's the better team. Stanford wins, and it sets up a huge matchup next week that I think we'll be at. If this game happens, Sunray and Stanford.
Yeah, and look,
And the winner of this one, I think, goes to Arlington.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Don't you think?
yeah.
I think it's a lot like A&M Texas, where the winner goes to the playoffs.
Well, no, Texas loses. They're still in the playoffs.
I know, but just play with me here, man.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Agree with me here, man.
Okay.
Like, it's that big of a game.
No,
now,
I
right?
agree. And I just want to bring up, I think Cisco has gotten better, but Stanford beat them to begin district 41-14. That
They
feels
haven't
like
closed the gap that much.
No,
And
I feel
Stanford's
in fact,
even gotten even better.
I was about to say, I feel like that's probably the score, 42-14. Stanford hit your extra point
so
on
you
that
have
one.
Stanford and Sunray, because I don't think anybody, we're about to go down to Region 2, is going to handle the winner of Stanford and Sunray.
No, and look, all year long. I do a Central Texas football podcast with Kenny Heath. You can hear that and watch that here on our network. And when we cover a lot of this region, because you got Axtell and you got Mildred and all. Look, Axtell, Mildred having great seasons. Hamilton 12-0. Cairns, nobody was expecting, but none of them, barring 7 turnovers and 27 injuries, stay within 3 touchdowns of whoever comes out of Region 1.
Do you like Kearns over Hamilton?
No, I like Hamilton.
I do too.
And I like Axel over Mildred.
I actually like Mildred beating Axtell, man. I think Mildred, their quarterback, Luke McKendry, is a beast, man. They got 2 running backs that had both gone over 1,000 yards this year, and Trenton Harris and Ashton Fry.
Yeah.
And I think the defense is pretty good. I think Mildred and Hamilton for the Region 2 finals. That's how it shapes up to me.
And I've got Axtell and Hamilton. I think Axtell, I think learning from last year's first round upset when they legitimately thought they would be in this round last year, and then getting beat by Italy, in the district. And let's remember, that's before Italy lost their quarterback. Italy's change. I think Italy's probably playing right now if they didn't lose their quarterback. They were so good this year.
Yeah, they were very talented.
But that's the way the sport works,
man.
And I know
especially on lower classifications.
Especially at lower class.
Yeah.
And I know Coleman was down all year, and I'm not saying that the win over Coleman is that big of a thing. It's the fact that they dominated them 45-6 tells me Axtell might finally be the team that I think they push out of this region. Again, we'll talk about where that means next.
And see, I don't think they get back past Mildred.
And I don't have a problem with that either.
Very close.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
It's a coin.
I think Hamilton wins very comfortably.
I do too.
Now, in saying that, if Karen's athletic, ability because Hamilton's, I actually got to watch a little bit of Hamilton. They're not the most athletic team. They're big and
But Kearns has a couple of athletic positions, but after that, I don't think they match up front.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think their athleticism is enough because of Hamilton's size. But all right, let's go to Region 3 where it's all about athleticism, and we've got some honey of games. Get it?
I like what you did.
We're going to be at one of them. I'm
excited.
excited.
What did Playoff Tree say?
I don't really have nothing to say about that, Grant. Sorry. Other than that was just a stupid joke by Terry.
Okay, first off, I don't know if 2A's heard Playoff Tree. You can't see right now. Well, you saw earlier, we have a playoff tree that's a Christmas tree with all our stuff on it.
It's
and
playoff tree.
He's mouthy. He's real mouthy. He's got some issues, and him and Coach X. You know what? Coach X, I know you listened to. Give us a 2A write-in next week, please, so we can introduce you fully
to.
half-assing
it, dude.
He's been If you're gonna ass it, whole ass it. That's all I'm asking.
Pay him all this money and then nothing.
I mean, we've had the fun this whole. Oh, you have to go to 3. It's a long story. Anyway, let's go to class. Let's go to Region 3. This is a game that I'm so excited. I'm excited for both of these games actually, but this one because we're going to be at it. Honey Grove 11-1 versus Wascom 10-2. This game is Friday 7:30 p.m.
Before we get into this game, do you know that we might, if we leave the Malakoff, Jefferson game in Tyler in time, we have to go up 155 through Pittsburgh. We have Pittsburgh hot links.
Now, you're not even understanding the full picture of that. Do you realize if we do that, we will in one day have Stanley's and Pittsburgh hot links?
Or we could. We're going to leave this up to Kevin
McPherson,
right?
Host of Kevin's Kitchen. That's
Kevin's
a way deep
and
cut.
He's our stat guy, or was our stat guy. Is also a stat guy for ESPN.
No, he still sends us random stats, and I'm like, dude, we're not doing a game.
He does stats for ESPN.
No, he's awesome, dude.
SMU. I mean, this guy's professional.
He could have went that career and done it if he wanted to easily.
So we could do that, or we could stop in Big Sandy's in Big Sandy for Rodney Crawfish, which has really good. I know they don't have crawfish right now, but it has really good
catfish. Yeah, they have really good catfish. I mean,
anyway. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. Why do you bring up food all the time?
You know what I want to bring up?
What?
Last week, Honey Grove used Rylan Morris at quarterback.
Did they really? And they got Levi Beavers.
Well, they threw all of 13 times against Hearn, but I do. We see teams do this all the time. Everybody attributes it to Scott Surratt. He does it well at Carthage. What was it that year? He had he came out with the Wildcat with that. I can't remember that wide receiver that ended up going to I think Texas, but he didn't. But anyway, he did that and for like the whole playoffs. But other teams do it as well, and I think Honey Grove's kind of done that now. Their starting quarterback got his arm broke, or I think it was broke, early in the year. They thought he might be back for the playoffs, and maybe he will be back. I think this is.
So you had to switch around Rylan Morris and Levi Beavers,
and I think Beavers got kind of banged up as well.
Yeah,
no jokes. But
Never mind.
You got me on track.
That for Coach later.
I will admit that was a bad one. My small
banged up a beaver.
I do think their starting quarterback has been week to week, but I like the idea of Rylan Morris running some wildcat, maybe throwing it 6 times a game.
And that defensive front, man, and those linebackers for Honey Grove, they're beasts. Now, here's the question.
Including Rylan Morris, who's a friggin' beast on defense.
Right. Here's the question. Can that Honey Grove defense... What was that?
My phone. Just keep going.
Okay, sorry.
No.
That just startled me.
I'm sorry.
I don't like big changes.
Did you put your Thunder blanket on?
Yeah, do you have a Thunder shirt?
I think Abby does. It's somewhere in there.
Abby's the Beagle,
studio dog.
Yeah.
There's only one dog in that. Wait, you're not seeing more than one dog in the house.
Well, actually, 3-dog night.
We're just full of it tonight.
I do need a Thunder shirt.
Anyway, what were you about to say?
Can this Honey Grove defense contain the speed that Wascom has all over the field? And let me say this. Wascom's offense has speed, but their defense is speedy as well.
They're so athletic. It's
Wascom's athletic and they're speedy. This is look. I can't say this as a co-host, but part of me is pulling for Honeygrove.
Oh no, I'm 100%. They've never been this far. This is new stuff for them.
I kind of want Honeygrove to win this ball game. Well, I really want Honeygrove to win this ball game, if we're being honest, right? But I don't. I think Wascom has too much speed for them on both sides of the ball. Too much speed on the offensive side of the ball, and the quickness on Wascom's defense is going to be able to snuff out any big plays that Honeygrove hopes to get. I really think that. I just think there's too much athleticism for Wascom here.
I think we are legitimately.
I hope I'm wrong.
I think we are legitimately at the same place we always are in this region right now. This is one of the few regions where one side is just completely different than the other side. I mean, the south side of this region is speed and athleticism.
Look at that Wascom's like schedule.
Yeah, having to play Garrison twice, and you know we always wonder, does one game matter? Well, they lose to Garrison by 1, they beat them by 5. They lose to Shelbyville by 6. Oh, by the way, Shelbyville we're about to talk about. There's not a ton of comparisons, but there's 2. Wascom beat Elysian Fields 42-14, and Honeygrove beat them 56-20. Wascom beat Paul Pewitt 67-20, and Honeygrove beat them 42-18. So there's just no comparison. And I'm sorry, Honeygrove, and I'm like you. And I'm not rooting against Wascom. Hell, I'm from. I literally live 5 miles or grew up 5 miles from Wascom. I love them, but I like new teams, and the first time they've ever done it. I just think it's the same issue at the end of the day. Honeygrove's just not athletic enough. Not in enough positions. You've got the Ryland Morrises.
Fast enough. Athleticism and speed are 2 different things.
Exactly. But yes, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Then you're Quan Cosby.
Now,
right?
Miss Quan Cosby. Now, in saying that,
oh hell, Quan Cosby.
You said the fearing Quan Cosby,
and
Vince Young, Jordan Shipley.
Show up, please. Your spirit show up in College Station.
Sorry, we are both unabashedly UT fans. You went to UT, but I mean we're both UT fans.
Well, I went to UT, but I got kicked out.
Yeah, that's a Patreon story. So if you want to go on Patreon, and you'll find out if we get 200 Patreon likes. They have
a whole thing like you have to make a 2.0, and there's a whole ScoPro thing.
I thought it was all like you owe this guy like 200,000, and
well,
if you
that
can
was the
find
Cubans, and that's another thing, and I ran from that.
I feel bad. I really do. I feel bad saying this because I've turned the corner on Honeygrove because this was the argument that I've had.
Honeygrove has a shot.
Oh no, this is a 1-possession game. This is not a blowout in any friggin' way, folks.
I just think the speed and athleticism lost.
Well, and I think honestly, and I will say this: if and again, I don't know. We get Honeygrove stats, but injuries and stuff, we always just we don't know. If Jarmaz Daniels comes back at quarterback and he's not too rusty, okay, we're maybe talking a different thing. I just don't think Ryland Morris and Levi Beavers at quarterback is enough to force Wascom to have to respect the pass. They're gonna just run their edges just straight down the field to keep the quarterback from running around. Linebackers will drop back, and they're going to say, okay, throw. We're going to make you beat us throwing.
Make up speed to chip you out. All right. So we both think Wascom will take on the winner of Shelbyville and Joaquin. Shelbyville 10-2, Joaquin 8-4. Joaquin comes in with Dalen Jordan at running back, about 1,000 yards rushing. Shelbyville comes in with Hunter Harvey at receiver, who has put up big numbers, and then DJ Barnes about 3,100 yards passing at quarterback. This is a rematch of a game that Joaquin already won 44-28 earlier in the year.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, we're gonna have to. Sorry that the 3A has been up. I guess I accidentally saved the 3A playoff bracket, so you're gonna have to look at our ugly mugs. So there we were talking earlier. There's a playoff tree.
Oh, okay. So Joaquin won this matchup early in the year, 44-28.
Which was a shock.
Right. I'm taking Shelbyville to win it this time.
I'm going to say this.
It's a toss-up.
I'm going to say this. We keep talking about like
DJ Barnes, man. He's the shiznit for
we keep talking Honeygrove versus Wascom and that. No, and I don't know. Shelbyville might not be the best team in the region right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's... Yeah, splitting hairs, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there's 3 to 14. I mean, all the ones left here could say that. I mean, I don't think you
I
could.
still think Joaquin's, I don't want to say they're the odd man out because they did beat Shelbyville, so I'm not discrediting that, but I still feel like they're the odd man out of these three right now, right in this amount.
Could be, but again, they're facing. Look, I've got Shelbyville, you've got Shelbyville,
Yeah.
but let's not discount the fact.
No,
that
you're right.
Joaquin
No.
Already
Beat
beat
Shelbyville.
them
No.
44-28. Has Shelbyville
wasn't
made
even a
up
close
that
game.
many points? I think they have. I think they're playing a lot better, right?
Yeah.
And they match up. But I'm just saying it's not just a foregone
No, you're
conclusion
100% right there.
that Shelbyville's going to run away with it. But I think if Shelbyville wins this game, they might just make it to at least against Ganedo, Refugio, somebody like that.
All right, let's talk about that. Region 4, man, we've got two just wows.
Yeah.
Not only in matchups, but just in names over the last 30 years of high school football in Texas. Marlin 9-3 versus Mason 11-1. This game is at very underrated Cedar Park's Gumpton Stadium, 7 p.m. Friday.
I haven't seen a game there in a few years, but
Caught a couple playoff games there. Ganedo 11-1 versus Refugio 11-1. Friday 7 p.m. at Port Lavaca Sand Crab Stadium. Another very nice stadium. This is I don't want to say underrated because I think everybody knows, but in the talks of the Honey Grove and Wascombs and up in in the round, in Region 1 with Sunray and stuff. I think these two games have kind of gotten forgotten about. And I think these two might be the best two of the week. In this division.
I think Marlin Mason has totally gotten forgot about. But let me tell you, like Mason's coming in with only one loss in the year, and Marlin 9-3, 3 losses, but their losses were, a really tough schedule.
Both of these, Mason's loss was to Wall, who we talked about in the 3A show,
right?
And then Marlin,
fairly close one,
yeah. And then it was very close. It was it wasn't. It was 28. Well, it was 28-6. Marlin's losses were at the beginning of the season to Lexington 27-12, 21-20 to Honey Grove, who we've talked about, and then 4A West 21-7.
Yeah, I like the athleticism of Marlin. I'm coming around on Marlin.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs, I am coming around on them.
Yeah, one of the fans don't like us because I always pick against Marlin. Sorry about that.
I think he also picks on me too, not just on our Facebook, but on our YouTube. But I think I am coming around on the athleticism of Marlin. They got one of the best players in Class 2A Division 1. So I like Marlin against a very good defense of Mason, though. Those punchers can play physical, tough defense. But I like Marlin in a very close one. They'll take on the winner, Ganedo Refugio. Who do you like?
I like Mason. I like I like their size.
Terry likes Mason. Don't get me confused. Everybody gets me confused.
I think it's going to be, again, no, dude, I'm just like you. I think this is going to be a great matchup. We're talking one possession. This is one of those that I feel like 14-13, like a real low score. Like these two teams are going to punch it out. I'm really big with the puns in this 2A show, but I really do. I feel like these teams are going to slug it out. The power of Mason versus the and it's not like Mason doesn't have athleticism versus the athleticism of Marlin, and it's not like Marlin doesn't have power. I think these two teams are almost even kill. So I'm going with Phil here. I'm going Mason.
Okay, and I'm going Marlin. Either one will get the honor to play the winner of Ganedo Refugio. And I really feel like Ganedo, Refugio, Sunray, and Stanford are the best teams in 2A Division 1. So here we go. Ganedo 11-1, Refugio 11-1, Ganedo state championship game last year, right?
Yep. Beat Refugio pretty bad too in that semifinal region final 41-12.
Look, Ganedo's quarterback Bryce Ullman around 2,200 yards passing. Austin Pena at receiver is just almost like unstoppable. But let's look at Refugio. Refugio would be the underdog, right? Because Ganedo beat them last year.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think? If you were looking on paper,
and Ganedo returned more. Ganedo
yeah.
returned a team almost completely intact.
A lot of people picked Ganedo to go to the state championship game.
Oh, yeah. But again, they literally lost one starter, Dylan Holt. And that's it.
Don't blame them. But let's look at Refugio. I'm picking Refugio in this game, by the way, in a very close one.
Right.
Because Refugio defensively, outside of that 42-35 loss to Edna, their defense has pretty much only given up. They haven't given up more than 14 points in a game, and they've had 5 shutouts.
Mm-hmm. Hey, guess what?
What?
Ganado, outside of that 33-12 loss to East Bernard,
Yeah.
has not given up a lot of points, and they've had 5 shutouts.
Just like Refugio.
This is literally, you know, we talk all the time. I say literally, it's figuratively. One of those, this is, you play this game 10 times, it's 5-5. It just, which one of it is this week?
Right.
Which
I
one
think
of
it's
those?
Refugio this
I think
time.
it's Ganado.
Okay.
I think Ganado.
I've been going back and forth.
Oh,
all
I have
week,
too. This is
so,
not. I don't
yeah.
feel comfortable about this pick at all. Like I mean,
Yeah.
again, it was funny because it's the stats you came up with Refugio. I literally came up with East Bernard.
I know.
With Ganado,
yeah.
as my show research, and that's when I started going like, well, crap. We have pick'em games. This is legitimately the most pick'em game. I'm just going 100% on
It was
the
a
field.
pick'em last year. It's a pick'em this year.
Yeah.
Right?
So you've got.
The winner of that is, I think, a favorite to make it to Arlington for sure, right?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. I think
they beat
I think
Region
2A
3.
Division 1 is a lot. I think at the beginning of the year, it was Ganado, Refugio, and everybody else.
Yeah.
I think teams have pulled closer to them than people realize. And I think one of them is, and again, I really feel like Wascom almost might be where they were when they were winning state or lost to Franklin in a classic
they're
region.
Athletic and fast enough and quick enough.
Yeah.
Are they as good up front?
And that's the question. And by the way, Wade Lawson has done a wonderful job there.
If they're not as good up front, Honeygrove's going to test that, and we might see Honeygrove winning.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do the same thing for 2A Division 2 right here on the 2A edition of Sideline to Sideline. Thanksgiving week.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm writing. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
You know, I'm still doing stunts. You know, and with concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, you know, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Okay. I mean, that is a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back. All right, Terry Bitty Grant Goodwin back here, sideline to sideline, the Class 2A edition. We did Division 1 region semifinals. Now let's do Division 2. We'll start out in Region 1. What's the first game, Mr. Goodwin?
That is Gruver and Tahoka. Gruver 12-0, Tahoka 10-2. This is Friday at Happy Bank Stadium in Canyon, 7 o'clock. Happy State Bank stadium. Sorry, it's late night. It's
Third
one
show.
of the best stadiums,
Yes.
though, as far as playoff games. I've seen a few there. One night, just a few years ago, it was snowing and sleeting at this time of the year. So that's pretty cool, right? I think that was Spearman and somebody I saw. That being said, though, I think Groover takes this one. Groover has just taken all comers, and they've been underdogs twice this year and have won both of those games big time. I think Tahoka can keep it close for a while, but I think Groover wins this one.
No, I agree with you. You know, Tahoka on the year, they've had a great season. You know, last year they were 4-7. Just 2 years ago, they were 0-10. I mean, this is a program that hadn't even made the playoffs since 2019, and I don't think they've had a playoff win like in 10 years, and they've only made the playoffs like 13 times.
Yeah.
So this has been I know they're having a blast. And hey, at this point, you know, it's like when you've won that $1,000 on the slot and you can put your regular money back and you're just playing with the house money.
It's called house money, yes.
You know, sometimes you have to kind of describe things. I can see that magic lasting a little while, but at the end of the day,
not for 4 quarters.
Exactly. Eventually,
not against Groover.
I mean, not
Groover
against
is
the
special.
And this is a Greyhound team that they feel that this is their time to finally win the region. You know, they've been kind of landlocked the last few years. They've bounced back. Well, I think 2018 they made the state championship game, and then they kind of bounced 8-3, 3-9, then 10-2. But
I feel as if Groover feels like if they win this game and then they match up well against Ropesville.
That's where I was
Winks,
going. That's exactly where I was going. Yeah.
Ropesville and Wink, I think they match up well with them. And then they let the chips fall because like Munster down there, I think they're good enough. They feel like they're good enough to win that and go to Arlington. It's 2 more wins for Groover to get to Arlington. Do you understand that? This could be epic for Groover.
You just made a really good point that you don't even realize yet. 2A Division II, Region 1 and Region 2 are flipped to where 2A Division 1 is. Like 2A Division 1, I will be utterly shocked if the Region 1 team isn't playing in Arlington. In 2A Division 2, I will be utterly shocked if the Region 2 team isn't playing in Arlington.
But it's not a foregone conclusion because
I think it's pretty
sitting
close.
up there. Look, I think Groover is sitting up there. Like, I think everybody think it's Munster and Windthorst maybe, right?
They're
But they're
Collinsville.
overlooking Groover.
I don't think they're overlooking them. I just think, again, like in the other division, I just think one region is just deeper and better than the
I
other
know,
region.
but I don't think that there's anybody Groover would be scared of. I think Groover can beat anybody in this whole 2A Division II field. Not that they will, but they can. So I like Groover in this. You like Groover. They will take on the winner of Ropesville and Wink. Ropesville's only loss was Sundown, 28-21. Not a bad loss. I think Wink with Keeman Fasain at running back. This is over in Big Spring on Friday at 7 o'clock. I think Wink wins this game, but it might be a close one.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a pick'em game, and I go back to we talked about it. I love what Wink has done this year. You know, last couple years they thought was their year. Last year, you know, I had gotten a couple emails in good nature about like, you know, when they were playing Munster, like, yeah, sorry you have to do their coach's show because this will be the last one, and then Munster kind of pushed it in on them, and they lost Creed French, their stud running back, but man, they have reloaded. They've got a kid in Jaden Talley who's big, he's fast, he plays all over the place. They've got a really good power running game. First off, I'd like to know the story of why is it Ropes or Ropesville? Because it's Ropesville, but they're called Ropes. And some list them officially as Ropeville, and some officially list them at Ropes.
Ropes.
I know. I'm just saying. I would love to know the story of what's the difference. I don't know, dude. I'm going Ropes in a pick'em. This is going to be a great
Wink.
game.
I like the way.
No, I have
Wink
no problem
just
with that at all.
manhandled Stratford.
Yeah, that's a good.
really good.
You know what? That's a
Stratford
really
team,
good point because
42-20 last week.
I think we both went Stratford on that one too.
I think I went Wink.
Yeah, I think
but
you might
thought
have.
It was
Yeah,
going to be closer. I did not think.
you know, I'm
it'd be
flipping.
42-20.
I'm going with you, Wink.
I think Wink is finding their stroke. I think Wink and Groover next week will be awesome. If there was some way we could get a Stratford Sunray and
Stanford Sunray, not Stanford.
Or Stanford Sunray and then a Wink Groover, I'd be okay with that in the same day. How can we have that happen? Or even one on Friday, one on Saturday.
I'm about to say it probably won't happen in one day.
I know, but I'm just saying
Hey, could y'all play
I'm
on
a dreamer,
Thursday?
man.
Hey,
I'm a
man, they've been
dreamer.
playing games out there in Canyon like at 4 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah,
if y'all could do
so-
that, that'd be awesome.
Maybe you leave the sperm bank at like 10 and we can get up there, or
Oh, what?
8.
What?
What? You don't want to leave at 8?
Let's just go to Region 2 because I don't know where you're going with that one.
With what? You don't want to go to
What
both?
sperm bank? Are you doing a happy bake?
No, I just thought that was your job. You were donating. And
This is my job.
Oh.
Wait, that actually would be a
I thought you
compliment
were-
if you thought that I was so viral or viral. Wait,
Viral. You're viral for sure. I thought you donated sperm and plasma all the time. That was your job. I didn't know. Why am I not getting paid for this?
Let's go to Region 2.
I do put that in a sock all the time. Don't get paid for it.
Wait. Are we talking about a sock for?
Not
Wait,
plasma either.
let's go. Collinsville 11-1 versus
Send me
Winthorpe.
that picture.
Stop!
You send me that picture of your mom, and I can't help it.
I haven't had to do that in a long time, but I had to shut Grant Goodwin down so we could talk some football. Are you ready to talk football?
I am.
That was mean about my mom. She charges $25, sir. Collinsville
She on
11-1.
OnlyFans or
Only olds. Collinsville 11-1 versus Winthorpe 11-1. This game Friday at Springtown's Porcupine Stadium. You know, this is look. I made my case very clear. I think of the two regions, Region 2 is by far better than Region 1. I do agree with
I
you.
don't
though.
think
Hang on,
I disagree with
Let me
that.
finish.
I disagree with that.
Let me
I
finish.
think
Take Groover out of it.
totality,
Take Groover
all
out.
four.
Take Groover out of it. Do you feel the same way?
I think Groover. Well, I think Groover, Wink, and Ropesville are pretty comparable to the ones we're about to talk
Oh,
about.
I don't. I think Groover, you can make the case. The others, I don't. I really don't. And it's not a knock on them. I'm just giving my
I
opinion.
think Wink is. All right, if I have to only choose two, I think Groover and Wink are close.
Okay. And I have no problem
And
with that.
Groover is up there with all of those right here.
I still think they're a step below. But let's talk about Region 2. Let's
don't
move on
think
from Region
they're
1.
a
That's fine.
All right.
We'll have that argument in 2 weeks, and it'll be fun because that's what we love to do. Region semifinals.
we had that argument. Neither of these teams we just talked about will be here, and
usually-
we'll look like idiots.
That's usually how we always look like idiots. What are your thoughts on Winthorpe Collinsville?
Okay, so this is great, man. Great game, right? Both teams 11-1. What is this in Springtown on Friday?
Yeah, Porcupine Stadium.
Right. Okay. I like Winthorpe with their quarterback Brock Belcher, 2,300 yards passing, give or take. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But Collinsville, man, I am so impressed with what they've done the last 6 weeks. That they started out the year, I was like, okay, this is what they're going to do. And now all of a sudden, I don't know, Jackson Jenkins, the quarterback, is throwing the ball, and Chad Davidson, over almost 1,000 yards receiving for Collinsville.
Yeah.
But they're able to run the ball really effectively, and their defense is playing really well.
That's the thing right there.
I think Collinsville right now is better. I would not have said this a month ago. I would have thought if Collinsville and Winthorpe played, that Winthorpe would win this game. I think Collinsville now is the favorite.
Well, I know games, it's all about matchups, and we give these scores
100% about matchups.
But we give these scores for calibration. All right. So Winthorpe and Collinsville have two common opponents. Munster being one. Munster beat Winthorpe 56-21. Munster beat Collinsville 34-20. The other one is Lindsay. Last week, Winthorpe beat Lindsay 30-27. Collinsville beat Lindsay in week 2 of the regular season, 55, or week 2 of the district season, 55-21. Just something to think about.
That's a case of who has the better run defense, right? Against Lindsay.
Against Lindsay, it's 100% who has the better run defense.
Not the best defense overall,
And
but
Lindsay
who
got-
can shut down the run.
And Lindsay got better defensively as their season went along.
Right.
I like Collinsville in this game. I am going
I do
on
too.
partly on that, but I'm also just going on partly on what you said. We said it all year. We've talked about how they lost, not lost. He graduated, Logan Jenkins. Sorry, I say that. When I say lost, sometimes I mean they graduated. But somebody asked me, well, I thought he graduated. He's hurt. But anyway, Logan Jenkins, and what were they going to do with Jackson Jenkins? And this, what what Coach Garrett Patterson did, I just think is so underrated, is he built back the passing game through being more physical on the run game. And then as Jackson got more comfortable.
And the defense got better.
And that right there, the defense got better. And I just think right now the defense is a better team.
I'll tell you this, Collinsville wins this game. It's not a foregone conclusion that they're not in the game against the winner of Albany and Munster that we're about to talk about.
All right, let's talk about that.
They're not an easy out.
Oh, no. Let's talk about it. Albany versus Munster, Friday, Wichita Falls Memorial Stadium, 7 p.m., a rematch of last year's thrilling playoff game.
This is going to be a humdinger.
Yeah, it will. And,
I mean, Albany still has Chip Chambers at quarterback. Don't forget that.
No.
I know this Munster defense has been great, and Kason Carney at quarterback has been great. He's a dual threat. 2,400 yards passing, about 1,600 yards rushing. But this Albany defense is still very physical, and they got Chip Chambers at quarterback and Branson Beal at running back, right?
Yeah.
That can run the football, throw the football, be very effective offensively and very diverse, and the defense is so strong up front. Who do you like in this one?
I like Munster by 14.
I like Munster by 6.
I have no problem with that. First off,
I think Kason Carney, Nolan Peel at running back, and the Garrett Heskett at receiver, and the Munster defense has been very good on the run defensive, at least, right? The front seven has been very good. I think Albany Chip Chambers going to get his yards, he's going to have his numbers, but I don't think they're going to consistently be able to move the ball against this Munster defense.
This was a playoff game last year that Munster, by all accounts, should have won. A mistake, and I'm not going to hold y'all one state, but I'm just saying, in the game, Munster made a mistake that cost them at the end, and Munster returns the majority of that. Albany
and they're still all juniors. Next year, this team.
And you could make the case: are they a year early? I think so, but I just think Albany's taking a small step back. Now, in saying that, everybody got oh my God, they got beat by Stanford 50-6, and oh my God, they got beat by Hawley 21-0. Yeah, those are 2A Division I teams. What have they done since then? They haven't been beat. I just think, in the end of the day, though, as long as, again, this is always that great decider, penalties and turnovers. If Munster controls those, I think Munster's just simply a better team, not by a lot, but a better team.
I agree 100%. All right, let's go down to Region 3. Grapeland 9-3, Overton 10-2. Overton coming off that huge win over Mart. Not an upset, not necessarily an upset, because we knew Overton was going to be this good. But to beat a Mart team, that Mart team had been there so many times. That's another one of those teams that even if you're better, you better jump out to 2 to 3 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter, right? Because that Mart magic's going to come back. This is Friday over in Athens at Bruce Field, 6 o'clock. Grapeland has played a tough schedule, man, right? And came out of that almost unscathed, 9-3, Overton 10-2. But, look, these two teams played already earlier this year.
And it was a shootout.
Yeah, it was. Overton won 41-36.
But that doesn't give – when it's that high of a scoring and it's a 6-point game, that doesn't really tell me much.
One mistake, one possession, right? But I still like Overton and Bryce Steele at quarterback, 3,200 yards passing, 670 yards rushing, and then Jaden Edwards at receiver. This defense is pretty quick for Overton. It's hard to beat a good team twice, right?
Yeah.
And does that give you a little pause and say maybe Grapeland takes this one?
So where my pause is, and this is such a, again, we're peeling an orange and just trying to figure out where we can, land in is both of these teams lost to Lovelady. Grapeland lost to Lovelady the last week of the season, 12-13. Overton lost to Lovelady 41-21. I don't know what to take from that. Again, this is a pick'em game. The one game they played, it was a pick'em game. But I'm going to go on Overton.
I'm going Overton.
I am too.
Because I
that
think
win over
Overton,
Mart matters.
It matters a lot. It matters a lot. I know it's a 1-point game.
Doesn't
but
matter. It's
boy,
Mart.
Mart is in Arlington every other year.
And don't
not
tell
every
me,
year.
and I know people will say, well, Mart had issues this year. I don't care. That's still Mart. That's still a team.
Absolutely.
That, we talk
You
about it in
better
3A with
be
Dangerfield.
2 touchdowns
Yes.
better than Mart to come out. And they did by 1 point. I think Overton has found their stroke, offensively especially. Maybe the defense gives up some points to Grapeland, and Grapeland's offense puts them in the game against Overton. But I think Overton got that monkey off their back with playing Mart. They were really damn good last year. I think Overton might be the team to beat now in Region 3. So I like Overton to play the winner of Bremond and Mount Enterprise. Bremond 10-2, Mount Enterprise 9-3. This is over in Crockett. Nice place to play. Not a real big place, but we've seen
Go to
it
Mimsy.
play out. Kilgore and Huffman Hargrave, I think we saw there several years ago.
Yep.
Plus, you can go and eat some really good barbecue.
I think that's what I said. Go to Mimsy's.
Yeah, Mimsy's.
I think maybe I still think maybe the most underrated, and I know they made the top 50, but I think they're the most underrated barbecue in Texas right now.
The variety the Mimsy's is one of the best barbecue
Yeah, they're one
places.
of the few barbecue places that have been able to spread out. Like they do steaks and they do fish and all that, and it's all still done amazing. And they're not even paying us.
Awesome.
Y'all want to pay us? We'd love for y'all to pay us, but amazing. But anyway,
just give us free food once. All right, I like Mount Enterprise in a close one over Bremond. This one.
Mount Enterprise.
Look at Mount Enterprise's schedule compared to Bremond's.
Mount Enterprise.
Bremond's is not weak.
No, but Mount Enterprise, when you want to talk about tough schedules and you really start to see who they played, they played Shelbyville and beat them by 1 point in the non-district. They started the year off beating Price Carlisle, and I know Price Carlisle didn't turn out really solid this year, but that was still when everybody thought Price Carlisle was going to be at least a top 15 team.
Right.
Their losses are to Grapeland. Now here's the issue with them. Their loss, 2 of their 3 losses they got destroyed. Grapeland 44-0, Love Lady 52-22.
Not bad teams though.
Yeah, but still
really darn good.
But
teams.
you're talking a combined 70 points, and then they did lose to Overton by only 1 point. But again, they have so many good quality wins. I'm going to go Bremond, but I feel like this is a one possession
Go Mount
game.
Enterprise.
No.
I'm telling you, I've got a feeling on this.
I hope
need to
you're
go
right.
with me.
I hope you're right. I'm nothing against Bremond, but Mount Enterprise, they don't. They're
Mount
not.
Enterprise will win this game. It'll be one possession though. All right, Region 4, Somerville versus Junction. Somerville, 11-1, I believe.
Yep.
Junction 11-1. This is over in Pflugerville at the field on Friday at 6:00. Man, I like Junction, but Somerville can make this close. Their quarterback, Ian Teague, 1,225 yards passing, about 750 yards rushing, so a dual threat. And then they got a great receiver in Keith Crawford. But I think Junction's played the tougher schedule.
Yeah.
I think they put a more complete football team. They're able to run the football, and their defense has been really good, Junction's has. The Junction Eagles defense is one of the best defenses in Region 4. So I like Junction to beat Somerville over in a close one, though. I think it's close.
I think Junction ends up stretching it out. I know Falls Cities ain't quite where they were, and it wasn't just beating Falls City, but beating them 35-13. That just, I don't know. I like Junction in this one. I think it's about a 14 one. Shiner 9-3 versus Granger 9-3. This is Friday at Smithville's Tiger Stadium as we finish up the show. What do you think about this one?
Dude, Shiner. Because Shiner right now is going to make it to the semifinals, and they might be the favorite to go up to Region 3 and beat them. Look, Shiner is so physical. They can run the football. They can throw it too, but nobody is going to out-physical Shiner. I think the Comanches are one of the favorites to make it to Arlington, and then after that, who knows?
I was at the beginning of the playoffs. I was reading something. One of the papers down there, and their coach was like, it's kind of different going into the playoffs, being an underdog. And I'm like, dude, you're Shiner.
I know.
Nobody thinks you're an underdog.
I went down to Victoria this past week for Poth and East Bernard, and they had the Shiner coach on. He was talking about the Bracketville team, and oh boy, this quarterback We got to watch out for him because he's running, and they're so physical. I mean, we're going to be up against it. Dude, they beat him 54-7.
Yeah.
And he poor boyed it so bad, and I was like,
Lou
dang,
Holst it?
Shiner might get beat.
Yeah,
by
did you believe it?
Bracketville. And then it's 54-7. I'm like, all right. No, I'm not going to ever fall for Coach Freak again. But then I will next week.
All right, we always do. All right. We hope everybody has an amazing Thanksgiving. If your team is still in it, no matter what happens, just enjoy the fact that they are playing on Thanksgiving weekend, which I'll contend is almost as great as the state championship.
It really is.
There's just, and I know there's round 4 and there's round 5, but the whole, Thursday, even when they're bad, watching NFL football, and now we got the Aggies and Longhorns back. I wish they'd put them back on Friday, or at least they're on Saturday. This just feels special this year. It's going to be fun. So if your team's still playing, enjoy it no matter what happens. Be safe. Want to remind everybody you can find us on Facebook. Just type in Sideline to Sideline. On Twitter, at Grant and Terry. Email us, grantandterry@s2ssport.com. And until next time, this is Sideline to Sideline, the 2A edition, brought to you by NeuroGuard Plus on L4 Media.
Sack in a small town.